Welcome to 3 must-know skills to pass your California Professional Land Surveyor exam. Now, to clarify, this is not about the FS, not about the PS. This is about the state-specific exam California requires every new and transfer surveyor to take. And let me begin by telling you, I took this exam myself, so I'm not telling you something from the blueprint or something I read about somebody who said, I took the California exam, I passed it, but wow, I mean, it was a tough exam. I remember thinking back at some of the questions, a few of them, and I said, I'm not even sure there's a correct answer to this question. But no matter, it's not about getting a perfect score. It's about getting a passing score. And I'd like to share some of my experiences with that exam and then give you 3 must-know skills to pass the California Professional Land Surveyor exam. When I think about the California exam, it really breaks down into a couple of big categories. And then the California board just sprinkles in lots of random questions. You know, thinking back to some of the things like a state plane conversion, maybe a little bit of a scale factor for photogrammetry, lots and lots of surveying topics. So the number of categories in this exam is huge. And the board, tells you that. You look at the California blueprint, and it's kind of thick, and it's got like 30-something different categories. Crazy. But you've got to start somewhere. And I'm talking about laying a strong foundation for this exam based on 3 different topics. The first topic, which the California board is obsessed with, is going to be the Subdivision Map Act. Now, there's lots of other statutory topics like conflicts of interest, corner records, records of survey, maybe some board makeup. So you have to know all the statutes. But the one statute the board loves, and the one statute the board always tests at least several questions, is going to be the Subdivision Map Act. So I'm going to make a new subdivision. Do I need a parcel map? Do I need a final and preliminary map? Or do I just need a deed? Write a deed, file it, and you're good. This is a big topic because county and local regulation of subdivisions is so strict in California. But the majority of the law is at the state level, and that's in the Subdivision Map Act. And the way that I tell you to study for this is you or your friend should make up some hypotheticals. There's a 3-lot subdivision. It already has roads. What should I do? Or what is the minimum required? That is number 1. Next, number 2. Number 2 is kind of a weird one because it's COGO, coordinate geometry. Beginning at point A, go 100 feet at a degree of 97.5 degrees. What is the coordinate of point 2? But that's too easy for California. So they're going to give you like a series of points. Point A, point B, point C, point D, point E. And you have to go all the way around using COGO and come to the last point. So make sure you can inverse what is the bearing and distance between 2 points. And also make sure you can stub. Beginning at a point, go a bearing distance. What is that second point's X and Y coordinates? That is number 2. And it's relatively simple if you have a pre-programmed HP35, because instead of wasting your time doing all this sine, cosine math, type it in, get an answer, move on. I don't think you're going to be so pressed for time on this exam, but remember, every minute counts. So we've gone over the statutory laws like Subdivision Map Act, talked about coordinate geometry. The last one is my favorite, and that is writing and interpreting legal descriptions. When you write and interpret a series of legal descriptions, you really have to look at every single word by itself and how those words combine to make sentences and paragraphs. Because a comma is a completely different thing than a semicolon. I've seen millions of dollars in real estate litigated because of that, difference. So in the legal description world, you pick up Gordon Waddell's Writing Legal Descriptions, take a class from me, go to college, enjoy a legal aspects course, and it's usually relatively simple. And I'm not going to say the California board is tricky, because they're not. They're very fair. But they do give you some complex situations. Maybe you have some gaps, some overlaps. I've seen it where a question has been like a section, you're on a section line, but there's also a meets and bounds around that section line. And it's really cool because they give you graphics and you can choose what point numbers make up lot 3, A, C, D, and F, or something like that. So just be prepared and, be 100% understanding that these legal descriptions are not going to be your simple, go 100 feet north. This is going to be some conflict. And it scares a lot of people because you have to interpret these correctly. And if you do not interpret them correctly, then you are going to land in some hot water. I'm not talking about during the test. I'm talking about during your professional tenure. So the California board really expects you to be an expert at writing and interpreting legal descriptions. The exam is much more than this, and you have to study for it. You've got to be a constant learner, a scholar. But if you study these 3 topics, I am convinced that it will lay a good foundation for your further studying. And if you can not be an expert, but if you can understand these topics, then you are well on your way to passing your California state-specific Professional Land Surveyor exam. Glad to help.